Saya polis yang tak makan nasuah.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is ELYANA Binti Ahmad BAKRI and I will be presenting the synopsis of the movie that we have chosen. The title given is Sheriff Narko Integrity. The synopsis of the movie shows that Sheriff Narko Integrity is a Malaysia crime thriller about the DSP Sharifuddin Hussein, played by the Zul Arifin, who works in the Police Integrity Department. He is tasked with investigating a series of murder committed by the mad killer. The killer is later revealed to be Inspector Nazri Mutalib, played by the Shafiq Khan. Nazri is seeking revenge because his fiancé, who was working undercover, will kill by the drug lord Tony Ifrit, played by the Aaron Aziz. During the investigation, the sheriff discovered that some senior police officers, including ASP Jennifer Wong, played by the Elizabethine, are secretly working with the Tony. In the end, both of them, Sheriff and Nasri, work together to stop the criminal and clean up the corrupt system. The movie culminates in the complex moral dilemmas and tragic consequences that mix with the personal revenge and the fight against the drug syndicates. The movie explores important themes such as justice, revenge, loyalty and integrity in a world affected by the crime.
Aku dari unit khas PDRM. Aku adalah polis yang tangkap polis. Nama aku Sharifuddin Hussein. Panggil Sharif pun boleh.
The main stakeholder and their stakes in this movie of the Sheriff Narko Integrity is DSP Sharifuddin Hussein, who is also known as the Sheriff. For the first stake is professional duty, upholding justice and police integrity. Sheriff performs his duty with the honesty and dedication that ensure the police integrity department stay credible and effective. He is also determined to uncover corrupt officer and illegal activity that harm the police force reputation. For the second stake is personal moral responsibility and professional risk that Sheriff feels a strong personal ethical obligation to protect society from criminal and injustice. So he struggled to make ethical decisions without crossing legal boundaries while pursuing justice. For example, that we can find that Sheriff suspect Nazri, a narcotic officer, being the mad killer but must find the proof without acting outside the law. So he cleverly used the strategy which used the Nazri sister Shazlin posed as the mad killer with a tracker to safely catch criminals.
Boleh beli aku tu ni. Aku math killer lah sial.
Step 1. Conflict between loyalty and moral duty. Inspector Nazri faced a conflict between loyalty to his college and the police organization and his moral duty to uphold justice without bias. He must decide whether to protect his career and the professional relationship he has built or to stand firm in defense on the take. 2. Personal safety and career risk. Nazri's decision to help the sheriff in uncovering corruption and criminal syndicate also exposed him to risk to his personal safety and future career. Upholding integrity can make him a target of threat of revenge from those involved in the misconduct, whether from within or outside the police force.
Tapi kau nampak weird betul dengan aku. Bersungguh-sungguh. Kau expect apa? Aku polis narkotik. Engkau integriti. Kau tak tahu cara kau ambil buat macam tu buruk.
Kau nak tahu apa yang lagi buruk? Polis yang langgar etika. Tu lagi buruk. Polis yang makan rasuah. Buruk. Dan yang paling buruk sekali, polis bunuh orang.
Next, I will continue with the main hero and main villain in this movie is the SP Sharifuddin Hussein, who is the sheriff, and the main villain is Inspector Nazri, who is called the meth killer. The ethical dilemma faced by the main villain is justice versus rule of law. The meth killer takes action on his own by killing drug criminal without regard the authority of the law. His belief he is providing justice to the community. He has violated legal procedure because he thinks he is a police officer and can ignore legal action. This raises the question of whether it is acceptable or not by law to achieve justice. The second ethical dilemma is duty as police versus personal revenge. The meth killer has a sense of revenge and anger toward the drug syndicate because he has lost loved one due the action of the syndicate. He has taken action on his own because he feels the legal system has failed to catch the criminal cause an unwanted case. This makes the meth killer biased toward his duty because he has grudge against the syndicate. We will turn to the ethical dilemma faced by the hero, the sheriff. The first ethical dilemma is integrity versus corruption. The sheriff faces a moral dilemma in upholding integrity and justice when one of his officers becomes involved in a corruption. He wants to do the right thing and bring justice, but this involves his courage, which can lead to the bias. He must choose between exposing his courage, wrongdoing, or remaining silent to protect his own safety and career. The second dilemma is rule of law or vigilante justice. The sheriff is tasked with catching the meth killer as police officer who target criminal beyond the reach of the law. The sheriff must decide whether to catch him and follow the law, even though the meth killer appears to be doing good by quickly eliminating dangerous criminals.
Logical ethics is a moral theory that focuses on the result or consequence of an action. It means an action is considered right if it brings good or positive outcome, even if the way we do is wrong. In this movie, this can be seen through the character of Inspector Nazri, also known as Most obvious example of theoretical ethics is that when Inspector Nazri killed the drug dealer and criminal, he believed his violent action is justified because his goal is to make the city a safe place. Even though killing is morally wrong, he focused on the result which is peace and security. This shows the theoretical mindset. If the outcome is good, the action is acceptable. Next is Inspector Nazri manipulated evidence to cover up his illegal action. He believed that hiding truth is necessary to continue his mission to fighting a crime. Follow a theoretical point of view. This shows he valued the result achieve justice more than the moral value of honesty. Next is Inspector Nazri also sacrificed his own moral and value because he believed his action serve bigger purpose. He break the law, kill people and hide crime, but still tell himself it all for justice. This is a perfect example of theoretical ethics. He believed that good outcome which is safer community can accuse is an ethical action. It clearly shows his focus on a result or not on whether his method is morally right. Psychology ethics is focused on duty, rule and moral principles. Actions are right if they are follow moral law, even if the result is bad, based on doing what is ethically right, not what gives a good outcome. In this view, what matters is the action itself, not the result. The character sheriff show this type of thinking in this many scenes. Sheriff faced pressure from his team and public to take violent or illegal action shortcut to stop criminal quickly, but he refused to break the law because his belief his duty is to act fairly and follow the proper legal steps. This shows the legal approach. He focused on doing what is the right thing by following his moral and professional duty, not on what is faster or more effective. Next is when Sheriff discovered that Inspector Nazri, who is senior and someone he respects, is actually behind the killing. Even though it's a painful choice, Sheriff still arrests him because of his duty as a police officer. This shows through the legal ethic, he followed moral law and justice, even when it hurt personally. He proved that doing what is the right more important than personal loyalty or emotion. And lastly, is there also a scene where a criminal tried to bribe a sheriff with a large amount of money to close a case, but he immediately rejected it, showing his honesty and moral integrity. He could have gained wealth or avoid trouble, but he chose to do what is right instead. This reflects a deontological view. Action must follow ethical rule, not personal benefit or consequence.
What is the golden rule? The golden rule says treat others the way you wanted to be treated. It reminds us to act with empathy, fairness and integrity. If we don't want others to hurt us or betray us, then we shouldn't harm them either. In Sheriff Narko Integrity, Inspector Nazri started out as a good police officer who wants to clean the force from corruption, but along the way he forgot his golden rule and turned into a killer known as the Mad Killer. He believed killing corrupt officer will bring justice, but actually he become just like the people he hates. Okay, we can look the example in the warehouse scenes. When Nazri hunt down a corrupt officer alone and kill him, he think he's delivering justice, but in reality, he takes away someone's right to a fair trial. If I were in his position, I would seek justice through the law, not revenge. I will collect solid evidence and hand it to Sheriff Zul or the integrity unit, because if I were accused, I want to be just fairly and not execute without a chance to explain. Another moment happened when Nazri discovered proof of corruption inside his own department. Instead of reporting it, he hides the truth and works secretly. If I were him, I would speak up instead of acting alone. Justice is not something we do in silence. It requires courage to tell the truth, even if it means facing powerful people. In another scene, his personal revenge led to a shout-out in a public place, putting civilians at risk. Following the golden rule, I will protect innocent life first, because that was my own family nearby. I will not want them to get hurt because of someone else's danger. There are also scenes where Nazri threatened an informant just to get information. That shows how he lost control of his emotion. If I were him, I would choose communication over intimidation. Treating people with respect often brings out of honesty, while fear only creates more lies. Finally, I realized that I have gone too far. I will admit my mistake and surrender to take responsibility. That's what the golden rules really means, having the humanity to do what's the right, even when it is difficult. Now, if I put myself in the villain's position as Inspector Nazri, I will feel a deep sense of remorse, guilt and shame after realizing what I have done. At the final scenes of the movie, after the confrontation with Sheriff Zul, Nazri lies injured and starts to realize that all his killing have made him no different from the people he wanted to punish. First, I will feel remorse for betraying my duty as a police officer. There are moments where Sheriff looks at Nazri with disappointment, and Nazri lowers his eyes. That show regret. I will regret breaking my oath to uphold justice and integrity. I joined the force to protect people, but I end up destroying that trust. Second, I will feel guilt because my revenge caused innocent people to suffer. There are scenes during the public shootout where bystander runs for safety. The moment shows how Nazri's personal anger put others in danger. If I were him, I will feel guilty for letting my emotion harm the very community I was supposed to protect. Third, I will feel shame for becoming exactly what I was fighting against. Earlier in the movie, Nazri accused other officers of being corrupt, but by killing people without trial, he became corrupt himself. I will feel ashamed to face my team, my family and even myself, knowing I failed to live by the values of integrity and honesty. I will also feel emotional pain realizing that all my sacrifices were meaningless. I tried to clean up the system, but in the end, I only added more violence and fear. In that ending scenes, when Sheriff tells Nazri that justice is not about revenge, you can see tears in Nazri's eyes. It's a moment when the gods turn into realization. For me, that scene reminds us to when someone starts with good intention, once we lose our moral compass, we end up losing ourselves. Feeling remorse, guilt and shame is not weakness. It is the first step to understanding that justice must always come with the integrity. Finally, the main lesson I learned from the Sheriff Narko integrity is that justice means nothing without integrity. Integrity defines true justice. Doing the right thing matters more than simply winning or punishing. Empathy prevents more blindness. Understanding others' pain helps us make fairer and kinder decisions. And redemption starts with the truth. Admitting mistake and taking responsibility is the first step to make the things right. This movie taught that revenge or taking the law into your own hands only destroy yourself and others. True justice requires honesty, empathy and courage.